Do you notice any big cultural differences between America and Iran?
When I moved here, around the time I was in third and fourth grade, and I had a brother who was a year older than me. Over here in America, girls and boys can go out and play and live their life equally, but the rules in my house were different. I was raised in a household where he could do things because he was a boy and I couldn't do them because I was a girl. And that's something that I struggled with at that age. And I worked really hard to live a life of equality, but it was an uphill battle. Even like the clothes that you wore to school, my mom wanted me to dress a certain way, and the other girls were dressing differently or shaving your legs. I wasn't allowed to shave my legs, so here I am, dark girl with hairy legs and stuff, and all the girls in America, they don't have hair, and what little blonde hair there was are being shaved. So those little things turn to into like impactful stuff when you're at school, because you can't concentrate on schoolwork because there's a kid over there making fun of your hairy legs. And so there's those things, and then also the freedom of going out and playing with your friends and stuff. Yeah, there are a lot of cultural differences.
Would you say that the family dynamics are especially different between Iranian and American families?
Yeah, absolutely. Because in Iran, like I said, girls are supposed to behave a certain way, and to this day, even if like a married woman gets a divorce, she still has to ask her dad's permission in many cases if she could stay living by herself instead of moving back home. So, I mean, in America, that's not even something that's really discussed. You get a divorce, you go on with your life. So that's just like a little tidbit of the many cultural differences.
Yeah. Would you say, how do you think Iranians are treated in the mass media and television and films and social media?
Well, first of all, I don't think that most Americans, are educated enough to know the difference between Arabs and Iranians and, people from Iraq, per se. Um, it's, they're all grouped into one, and that group is represented by terrorists and terrorist acts, and it's really not true at all about any Iranian that I have ever encountered or met, or it's a false portrayal
Yeah.
and stereotype.
Do you think that Iranians and you are treated differently by police and government workers at all?
If is there discrimination? Have I ever felt it? I felt it in my life numerous times, and it's like whether it's because I'm Iranian and or because I'm a woman, being a minority, it exists. So it's definitely there.
Yeah. So, how do you think that how Iranians and generally the Middle East is portrayed politically, do you think that affects how everyday people see Middle Easterners and Iranians?
Of course, we're conditioned by what the media shows us and tells us and informs us is happening in the world. So when you hear that, Iranians are planting bombs and doing like what are doing bringing harm to civilians and stuff, yeah, that's what the media feeds you, and so that's what you take away from it, because all we know is really what the media feeds us, not actually what's really happening. So when does it exist? Yeah.
Yeah. So, would you like the, cultural opinion of Middle Easterners and Iranians to change at all, and how so?
I can tell you that Iranians are very hospitable people. They're very kind people. I know that all of my family and extended family that still lives in Iran, all of our friends, like people want to be more like Americans. They love Americans. America doesn't see that when what they're shown on TV is Iranians burning the flag, the American flag. So I would definitely like that to change. It would be nice if the portrayal of Iranians on the news was similar to what travelers experience when they actually go to Iran with their own video cameras and capture what's actually happening in the street. I think is more telling of what the people of Iran are. But these people in Iran are being governed by a government that, you know, they say it's a democracy, but no one that lives there that I know says that it's a democracy.
Is there anything else you want to add? Anything you want people to know about Iranians?
Iranians are kind, hospitable people. They love other cultures. I find them to be kind and generous people, and I wish that that was the image that people would know about Iranians rather than what they're actually shown on TV or what they hear the government are doing, because the government of Iran doesn't portray or represent any of the Iranians that I personally know.
Okay.